I think
Not very much, even come. Be creative, will we?
Yeah, I know.
So we got all thinking on the either there. But we're gonna do this.
That's how.
The cost,
Now we can hear you.
you know.
So,
Perfect.
you can still talk.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Do you want us to sign in?
Check it out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So stupid.
But they.
But shoelace
62 foot.
Well, my shoelace broke this morning.
So we're
My
snatching,
shoe,
right?
yeah. But they had to change shoes.
Okay, well, let's get started. It is the 1st of July. Can you guys believe it? We are officially halfway.
Let's
He claps for everything, so we can clap for it. 26th week of the year, so we are 50% to the way to our year. So let me ask you, and this is just so you don't have to answer a question, who in this room is 50% of way to their goals? And I would like you guys to take a little bit of time, and if you need to schedule a time to sit down with me or Brad to review your goals. Because a lot of times I'll tell people, you know, things change, but your goals don't, right? And that's not always an accurate situation because life happens, different things happen, and so now is the time of reflecting. How are we gonna end the year strong, and what does strong mean to you? So as you're looking at your goals and you're looking at your life and your lifestyle and your business and again, like I said, life happens. Where do we need to pivot and adjust so you win the year? So when you're thinking about that, if you need to reanalyze and refocus, that's what we're all here about. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more. DTD2, because we're starting off the first week of the quarter, we're back to the beginning. We're calling everybody with the last names that start with the letters A and W. Next week, B and E. So get yourself a nice little cup of root beer this week, A and W preferably, and call all your people and tell them to have the best week to do it, right? Happy 4th of July. Enjoy, be safe. And we're clicking. Okay, so we can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to America, everybody.
Somebody skipped over.
Oh, I might have. I know, I'm like listening to other people. And focus. Okay. So, mindset is everything. Cody Gibson, who is the head of Max Coaching, the head of Bold, he has this, when you see him on Zoom, he has this in his office behind him. Mindset is everything. So you see it's a goldfish with a shark fin. So, what happens here dictates everything out there. So as we were just talking about your goals, do we need to refocus? Do we need to reset, reimagine? Like what needs to happen? And anything is possible. Right? And that's the way we need to do it. And it all starts here, like every single day. Like, what are we telling ourselves? Do we have a positive mindset? Do we have a negative mindset? When you guys think of this, when you think about mindset is everything, what comes to mind for you?
If you say you're gonna do something in your mind, you'll get it done.
Right. Now you just need to do it.
Think positively, now we can just get out and do it.
Yeah.
Wherever you.
Yeah. And we're our biggest, good morning. Did you have one meeting list? So we are our biggest critics, but we're also our biggest cheerleaders, and we definitely want to stay focused on being our biggest cheerleaders. So when we say we're gonna do something, committing, right? It's first, like, how do you earn trust with somebody?
By showing them what.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And before we can give others trust, we have to give ourselves trust. So how do we earn trust with ourselves? Yeah, we say we're gonna do it, and now we follow through, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
I heard a good quote.
yes,
It said, hard work isn't stressful. Not taking action is stressful,
that is very true.
because you're kind of. Oh, God, should I do, you know,
Yeah, so I think I might have shared this with you guys last week and I'm not sure, so forgive me if I did, but. Even if I did, I think it's relevant to say again, because I had the same conversation last night with an agent up in Illinois. And when you start controlling what's controllable in your world, everything will start feeling in control rather than out of control. But if you're not controlling what needs to be done, what has to be done, I heard a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas. And you don't want to shoulda all over yourself, right? So when you control, the rest of your life seems to be in control, but when you're letting things sit and you're not in control of the things that you should be taking charge of, you're gonna feel out of control. And that's a really uncomfortable place to be, you know, and that goes kind of along with mindset. So,
Yeah, and you know, I love what you said there. It's guarding your self-talk, right? What are you telling yourself? What are you saying to yourself? I mean, listen, we've all woken up in the morning and be like, man, I should have done better here, or this person's doing this, or I don't have the skill set, or I don't have insert what you want. A suggestion I can make to you is get some dry erase markers. And when you wake up in the morning, write how wonderful you are, how you're capable, right on your mirror while you're brushing your teeth. I've done this so many times when I'm in a rut, when I'm not feeling like I'm capable, because we all go through it, right? So I'll wake up and I just write, you know, you are capable, you are powerful, you can do this, you can achieve. And I leave it there. And whatever you want to write, right? And it's not egotistical to say that. You need to tell you're your best critic. You need to lift yourself up if no one else is going to do it. So that's one way you can smack yourself in the face every morning with just positive reinforcement. You're brushing your teeth, you're seeing that, can't go wrong.
and thank you, that was wonderful and powerful. Let's give him a little hand. You are powerful, you are capable. And with that, one of the bold laws that I love and I share it as much as I possibly can is what you focus on expands. So when you think about that, what you focus on expands, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. So we are not in control of our first thought, but we're in control of every thought after that. So how are we changing those thoughts if they're not the good ones? So we can continue to focus on abundance, what's possible, and a go get 'em attitude. I actually kind of had a mindset shift. And I have an alarm that goes off. I usually wake up 10 minutes before the alarm, but I have an alarm that goes off at 5:15 in the morning. And it was just an alarm and I didn't have any like title to it. And I decided to put a title to it. And then I hit snooze, even though I'm awake, and then I let it go off a couple of times so I can read it. And it says, wake up and kick tail. That's what it says, is tail. And I do, so it just changes the way I get up rather than, okay, snooze, even though I don't fall back asleep, you know? But I get to see that and I'm like, you know what, I am gonna wake up and do that today. So what you put in your body is what you manifest throughout the day typically, and that's the way you start your days.
Yeah, I gotta say, I love starting my days with KW leadership. This is new to me. I get to jump on calls with these fine folks and others in leadership between the offices every morning at 8 and 8:30 between these two offices. And I'm just, honestly, it's been such a great change for me. Prior to that, I mean, I was running my own business, just kind of in my own element. I had people around me, but it's really great to have people that are powerful, that are sharing your mindset, that are looking for success, that are there to lift you up. And so I encourage you that if you guys, whoever you might be around, to get into a relationship, call each other, set up an 8 a.m. call just to check in, be like, hey, what are we gonna get done today? And then call at 5 p.m. and say, did we get it done, right? That could be another way to enhance that, because it's done a lot for me. And mind you, they're talking like, I'm newish to the KW. I know KW hasn't been involved with them, but like everything that y'all do is just different to me. I know what it is, but it's just all new, right? But it is exciting and there's a lot of power behind it. It just feels good to be around it, right? And so if you guys are all here, you're part of that culture. You're part of the same thing leaderships are talking about on the calls, the MREA and everything that they're talking about. You know, get in cahoots with each other and build each other up that way too, because it really does feel good to be in community with people that want to be successful, right? And that'll also pull you out of that negative mindset. Yeah.
Start your day with your Wheaties, and that's with your KW friends. All right. So 4th of July, happy 4th of July. So I wanted to do something a little bit fun today. And I'm trying to figure out, we're gonna do a little trivia. All right, so I have 7 questions. Whoever answers the most wins, okay? And it's all based on Independence Day. So I need you guys to see like who raises their hand first, okay? So, are you guys in? Do you guys like trivia? You like winning?
Oh, yeah.
You're not winning millions of dollars or anything.
Or are you?
Maybe you are. Prizes will be announced. So, raise your hand, be the first one when you have the answer, okay? What year was the Declaration of Independence signed?
Oh, right there.
1776.
Yeah,
Yep, okay, so. Okay, you got it?
he's on the board.
Okay. Which city hosted the first public 4th of July?
Ooh, Wayne, Boston.
Philadelphia.
Um,
Oh, we said I got it.
Massachusetts, made the first 4th of July an official holiday, but it's not the first one that hosted it. What did you say?
Philadelphia.
Okay, Lisa got one. How many stripes are in the US flag and what do they represent?
13,
And what do they represent?
first and original colonies.
That's
gotta be 2 points.
It's one, it's one, but yes.
But yeah.
Jersey's
four.
Yes.
Now you have 2. All right, gotta catch up. What iconic American symbol was gifted by France and is often associated with freedom? Statue of Liberty, Wayne with that one. Who was the primary author of the Declaration of Independence?
Thomas Jefferson.
Yep. How many people signed the Declaration of Independence?
26.
Higher.
50, 47.
Higher.
Get warm.
53.
Get warm.
Higher,
Oh, wow.
67.
lower. You want me to just give it to you since you guys have just got now? 56.
I didn't know that one.
Yep, I didn't either. So if you guys would have known it, I would have been like, dang.
Yeah, you know.
You get the American flag. Okay, so we have one more question. Possibly 2. What food is most commonly eaten on the 4th of July?
Hot dogs.
Who got it? Well,
We got hand up.
he's on, had the hand up.
You got
I
one
heard
question.
lots of people.
I heard Justine.
Alright, we'll do one more. Which 2 US presidents died on the 4th of July in 1826, exactly 50 years after the Declaration was adopted?
Oh, wow.
What a question, look at.
Two different songs on the same day.
Who's that?
They killed each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
they passed the present or the past
Past,
presidents?
Yep,
Oh.
Let's see, Ulysses S. Grant from Lancaster, Ohio.
Grover.
Grover Cleveland, another one.
What year was it?
1826.
1820. Something like that.
So you guys need to bring this to your parties and ask people, no, you guys.
When did they have one?
One's a beer and I think one's on money.
Sam Adams, is he a friend?
What's not a beer?
That's the only beer I can think about.
Well, John Adams.
Oh, you said.
Oh, is that-
Yeah.
oh,
John Adams is.
Adams.
Alright, so we got one. What's the other one?
George Washington.
It's famous, you know this one.
Budweiser.
His president was a famous president.
Lincoln.
No,
Who authored the Independence Declaration of Independence?
What,
Jefferson.
Jeff,
So it was Jefferson and John Adams. Okay, I'll give you guys one more.
That was a tough one.
That was a tough one. What patriotic song's melody was borrowed from a British drinking tune?
The Grand Old Flag.
secure the lead.
Interesting. Oh, wait.
Yankee Doodle.
No.
Oh,
Good one. That does sound like a drinking game too. I love it.
America the Beautiful.
You're dancing all around it.
Star Spangled Banner.
Got it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna say Jeff won because there was a lot of questions going in there. It wasn't very fun. So you get cards or Buffalo Chargers Storm.
Buffalo.
This is the Buffalo who charged the storm.
Uh-huh.
Do you guys know the story of how it charged the storm?
I'll take the cards.
We gambling.
So, so you guys know the buffalo, when there's a storm, most animals run away from the storm that's approaching. And the buffalo charged through it to get to the other side quicker. So you guys see that painting in my office of the buffalo, it's charging the storm, and that's what Gary kind of adopted a couple years ago is we will charge the storm together. We're gonna run right through it. We're gonna conquer and persevere. So, what'd you guys think of our little trivia?
It was fun.
Did you guys learn a lot today about the 4th of July, about Independence Day? Okay. So we are, Keller Williams, our purpose is to be the place where entrepreneurs thrive. So, you know, with classes like Quantum Leap, which we are gonna be bringing to you guys, Brian, our operating principal, he is a Quantum Leap instructor. He's on the board of directors for KW Next Gen. So that's gonna be coming. That we just had it a couple of weeks ago, the live stream when he was doing that for the 18 to 30-year-olds, and we had a few people in the room that sat through most of it. It's just a really great course. And then when you're in that course, it really helps you think bigger and really prioritize what's important in your life. Because the purpose of business is to fund the truly perfect life. And you guys are all in here because you have entrepreneur spirits. And by helping you build a business based on models and systems to achieve whatever it is you desire is why we've all come together in culture and grow. Any thoughts? I didn't even practice that. Okay, happy anniversary to Greg of 12 years, Brian Dorn 6 years, Barbara 2 years, and Kelly Rocco, not Razzo, but Kelly. Happy anniversary. Then we have many, many, many birthdays. So today, Desiree and Ina are both celebrating a birthday. We have Tatiana on the 3rd, along with Miss Shannon on the Thursday. Jerry is tomorrow. Jeff Adams is the 10th. I'm trying to go in order. Alyssa is the 19th. Tracy Edwards is on Zoom. Happy birthday on the 23rd. And Tamika is on the 25th. So happy
And
birthday.
one that I didn't put in there, somebody's birthday over there.
It's me tomorrow.
Happy party tomorrow.
It's 39.
Again.
No, first time.
You're young. You're
First
young.
time.
When people would say 39, it's usually a joke.
39.
I'm gonna be 39 too.
39.
I'm excited. I like that number.
Still, yeah. First time.
Exactly. So welcoming to our awesome family is Wilmy. Welcome to the family. Very excited to have you. And then Andrea, who isn't here. Oh, she's on Zoom. Hi, Andrea. Welcome to the family. And then her husband Levi. Levi is here in the room back there. So welcome. They just joined an hour ago. Yeah.
Welcome.
And Lily last week. So welcome to the family. We're excited to be in business with you. And then here are the numbers. So if you guys were here last week and we put up the slide of the markets, what's happened in the past week in Manatee and Sarasota County, again, single family condo, villa and townhouse. Chris here suggested you take this slide,
Yeah.
put it in Chat GPT. Did you do it?
Yes, ma'am.
All
It
right,
worked. That's good.
beautiful.
I'm trying to do another little, I wanted to suggest to you guys, can we do it like a little bit nicer, like a
A
eye-catching,
little prettier.
prettier thing?
Yeah. Put the
Because
KW
this one
Coastal
is nice,
logo.
but the colors, when you post them, the colors are not really big contrast and it loses. You have to zoom in on the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk to our marketing team on that.
Thank
You can do that.
You know,
Right
I
on.
can give you feedback.
Okay, no, that's great. So I did it for you as well, and you guys do it on your own, please, but what it says is more homes are selling, market activity is picking up. So sold homes are up 18% this week, and that's a major sign that buyers are still active and serious. And how you can use it is homes are moving. If you've been thinking about selling, now's a great time to get in front of motivated buyers, right? And price reductions are slowing. So price reduction decreases are down 13%, suggesting homes are being priced more accurately upfront. Whether that's true, time will tell. This is just a week that GPT is chatting with us here. New listings are up, which is more options for buyers. right? Expired listings dropped 45%, so a huge drop in expired listings shows homes are selling when priced and marketed properly. And also think about the timing of the market, right? So this is just a 1 week snapshot. What I'm going to do at the end of the month is put all the weeks together in there and say, tell us what's going on based on this whole month of everything, because 1 week doesn't tell a story, right? But it gives us speaking points to earn the right to have conversations to people out on social media to reach out and say, hey, I saw your post. What does that mean? I'm a seller in the market and I want to talk about this, or I'm a buyer in the market. I want to talk about this. So I encourage you to do that, and then a small uptick in cancellations and withdrawals. Some sellers are just unsure. So I encourage you to take the slides, the slide that Brad had posted on Facebook yesterday and put it in ChatGPT and tell it to tell whatever story you want it to tell, right? Interpret it. I asked it to interpret what the slide was saying based on what's going on in the market in our area. So I can speak to both sellers and buyers. So you just kind of direct it on what the output that you want, so you can have the conversations. You can come in. Okay, you can pull a stool up over there. It's Sheree. Oh. Any thoughts? Any thoughts on what's going on in the market? I'm gonna start doing this every week with ChatGPT because it's easier, right? And then teaching you guys to do it as well. And you're welcome to have what I pulled up in those scripts as well. But I really encourage you to get to know AI and do it on your own.
Definitely.
Amen.
Yes.
And speaking of which, our AI tomorrow, we're not having it tomorrow because of the week, so we'll resume next week. And there's a slide on that. Daily role play with top producers every morning at 8:45. Jeff is in the house every day. You guys can come in. We're fine.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna talk this way. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna talk this way. We have two people out in chairs in the hall. So this is role play. This is where you master your craft. And we were just talking about that in leadership. I mean, we may sound intelligent and we are intelligent, yet we have not arrived anywhere. There's never an arrival. There's moments of arrival, but there's always periods of mastering your craft and being purposeful and intentional on what you're doing and how you can serve those around you better, depending on who you're serving. So be here at 8:45. I challenge you. So write on your mirror tonight before you go to bed, 8:45 tomorrow morning in the training room to master my craft, to win more business.
Yes, and you'd be surprised that when I started real estate, I was in the office 8:30 to 8:45 doing scripts and role play every single day for 6 straight months. And I could recite everything like the back of my hand. Don't challenge me now on it, but I could. So do it. Do it. If you want to learn scripts and have something you want to learn, bring it to scripts and role play. Bring it. We'll go over it. Or whoever's leading the day will go over it.
Well, Mike's in here every morning, Wayne's in here a lot of the mornings, Lisa's been coming, and Jeff, and I do have to say, Jeff, day one, he is in here and he's, I don't even know what an expired is, but let's go, and so he's been doing it and he's been jumping right in, so that's the energy I love to see, and he's in here every day.
And that's a great point. I was talking about how I got on those calls at 8 or 8:30. That could be the change that you need to drive something different or change. Could be the fire that you need to start doing something a little bit different in your business. So give it a shot. At the end of the day, that's income. That produces income for you. So if you don't like that, it's okay. There are other ways to do it, but that's one way to do it. Right? You can get good at it.
Well, that was my fast track to my business growth, frankly, is the role play, because we don't always know what to say when we need to say it. And, Phil Jones is going to tell you, you need to know exactly what you're going to say before the moment that you need to say it. And this is the same thing. Like, does everybody in here know what objections sellers are going to throw at you? No? Do you know what objections buyers are going to throw at you? Buyers for sale by owners, there's a plethora, and there's a way to have those conversations. So, you're invited. If you want me to, I'll call you at 5:15 in the morning and wake you up and get you out of bed. I'm happy to do it. AI series, I told you that we're resuming next week, next Wednesday, so be in tune. I'm very excited for that. For those of you that were in here, how many did your videos?
I was going to. I got everything ready.
You still can.
Everything ready.
Okay.
I even went on Sunday to an open house and was gonna do it then.
So you ready?
But there was people that came to the open house and it was busy and.
Well, that's a
I had
good
somewhere
thing.
to point.
So you were ready, now you aimed, now you just need to
I
fire.
got that, I got it ready to put on that thing.
All right, teleprompter, all right. So more classes, so starting today, we Cherie and I will be in here at 5:30 every Tuesday for Millionaire Agent in the Making. What this is, there she is.
Goofball.
She's sitting in the hall. So we are here, it's a 12-week series, we're gonna keep rolling it over, and so she has a growth coaching on Tuesdays and Thursdays, trainings and helping you with the things that you need. At night, it's gonna be a model of growing your business and implementing the models and systems in your business. She's doing that during the week as well. We wanted to open it up for dual career or those that have things going on, that 5:30 just makes more sense. You can bring a brown bag dinner if you want to. Maybe once in a while, we'll have some vendors come in and bring us lunch or bring us dinner, or maybe I'll cook something, we shall see. That would be a gift.
The exact class is not in the daytime, or it's just the coaching thing that only certain people go to.
Anybody can go to the coaching on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Anybody can sit in the coaching.
In the
It's the
daytime.
ones that are in the growth coaching that need to be in this room on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 12:30 to 1:30. The evenings, we opened it up to allow those that work during the day. Yet also, it's for everybody too. It's not for just brand new, and it's not for dual career. Okay, so you're gonna learn a lot. And there's gonna be homework every week, and there's gonna be intentional activity and action. So be here or be square. Real Talk with Top Talent. So typically we do the Real Talk series on the first Friday of every month. We have 4th of July, and so we're gonna push it off 1 week till the 11th. I had a great conversation with Liz. So I always do a pre-interview conversation, and I highly suggest you guys get your phones out, do the QR code, register and be on this. She has, her slogan is keeping it real with Liz. And after that hour conversation with her, I understand she keeps it real. So she's gonna tell you guys the good, the bad, the ugly, how she's succeeding and what she's doing with her passion that's driving her real estate sales and making her stand out from the competition. And that's via Zoom. And feel free to come with your questions. keepingitrealwithliz.com, I believe, is her website if you want to check out who she is. She's up in Washington, and she has a small little expansion in Phoenix. Very small team, but very high results. Next Wednesday, before the AI series from 11 to 1, we have Realtor Safety here. You can earn 2 CE credits by attending, even if you couldn't be in the room, because there are so many things that happen with real estate agents. We work with the average public, right? And the average public is for Cocoa Puffs. Not all of them, but right. I mean, you don't know who you're reaching your meeting with. I would forewarn everybody, put them in your phone and check forewarn. We've had an incident in the office where a male agent went to meet a male client and was semi-accosted, right? He is fine, he walked away, everything was good. It's not in the news, and no media knows about it. There's a lot of things that happen, safety in open houses, safety in showing, safety in everything. I don't know. I didn't even Google it because I don't, that's not a stat that I want dear to my heart. Yet there have been real estate agents that have been massively hurt, massively robbed, and some have been killed. And I don't want that for any of you. So come and understand situational awareness, some self-defense, and some safety measures that you can put into place.
I'll be gone. Is that gonna be again?
We'll make sure it's again, because safety needs to be something that's on our calendar consistently.
September is the safe realtors month, so it will be done in September as well.
Yep, we'll do it again in September. Get some more CE credits out there. List to last. So put this on your calendar. We're gonna be streaming this in the Market Center from 2 to 5 on the 23rd. Gary and Jason wrote this class, List to Last, about how to separate you from the competition, about how to win the listings, how to get the listing signed, buyer and seller listings, and things that you need to focus on and be abreast of in this market, and the conversations that you need to have. So, many of you that were with us or in real estate before, attended the Value Squared class that Gary and Jason wrote. That was phenomenal. So you take your value proposition and partner it with the list to last class, and you can't not get business. That makes sense? You can't not get business. So we'll be reminding you of that as well. Happy hour this Thursday, so we're kicking off the 4th of July with the rest of the Coastal Living offices at 99 Bottles. That's in Sarasota. Never heard of it.
Or tomorrow.
Did I say Thursday?
So Thursday, is it tomorrow?
Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Yeah, it's Thursday. Not for your birthday.
Yeah,
For Shannon's
I
birthday.
was thinking, I'm like, man, y'all are taking it up to the next level.
We have happy hours for all of your birthdays every year.
An idea to have it a monthly birthday, celebration.
Yeah, well, and that's what, so we have the social hours pretty much every single month, the
Yeah.
first Thursday of the month. And it's vendor sponsored, so there's snacks and some free drinks, so it's a fun way to come to connect and just relax and unwind and not in an office setting. So who thinks they can go? Good, all right. Like cocktails up here?
I saw his arm go.
Yeah, he's like, me. They have mocktails too, for those of us that don't drink.
Yes.
All right, Abby, can you tell us a little
Yeah.
bit about your services? Abby's sick today.
She's sick, I know, I'm not as pretty.
Oh.
I know. But so she just wanted me to let you guys know that she is here to help you out. You get that contract accepted, she's here to help move it forward and be on track with everything. She has a few people now that she's been helping free of charge. Don't take advantage of that. Let her help you free of charge, and then use her for your next one. Let her show off her skills and then go for it. So like I said, use her. She is here to help you out. If you don't want to use her, or you don't know anything about TCs, ask us. We've used them. I used them all my life. And by all my life, the time I was in real estate made my life 20 times easier. And if anybody else has used her here or talked about her or talked with her, feel free to share.
Yeah, I've not used a TC because I've not done real estate, but I've used my version of it on the mortgage side, and there's nothing better than being able to buy back your time.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what that does for you. It allows you to have more time. It's more time to do the time on task things that earn you money. Sitting in paperwork doesn't get you the money, right? Get you the money is doing the lead generation and finding more clients. And I believe that she also said that you could pass this on to the clients too,
Yep.
right? Okay, so like this is a no-brainer. Like, why wouldn't you do that? To have all the time you have, to have a transaction secured, have someone to watch, make sure you're doing everything right, especially if you're a newer agent, it's worth its weight in gold.
Yep.
And I have one testimonial for her as well. She's been fantastic. 2 different clients, and she is managing everything to the day of the execution of the contract, whatever it might be. She has emails and everything set up so you cannot miss a date. You cannot-
So imagine just getting a new transaction, you're a newer agent, and you're like, what could go wrong? And you've got someone that can help you through that whole entire process to make sure nothing goes wrong, right? You got a little wing woman.
She is on.
Yeah, it's so powerful, it's so powerful.
So think of her as your like personal assistant with the communication. So she's like the hub of communication for the whole transaction on both sides and making sure the dates are met. You're still responsible because you have the license, yet by hiring her, she's executing and making sure everything's going smoothly through the whole transaction and keeping you up to date on everything in the process.
Very thorough.
Yeah, she's very good. She's very good. She knows what you don't know and she anticipates. So that's probably the best thing. It's a peace of mind knowing that she's got everything done. She's done it several times, so she's very good.
As a mortgage guy, I love when there's a transaction coordinator on the other side and, and I'm dealing with them because that's their focus to make sure that all the documentation's to me, everything that I missed, that I'm making the dates, et cetera, and that the agent, I have correspondence with them in a different way, but their safety to know that they can keep going selling while they're being taken care of. So I actually enjoy working with TCs directly too.
What he didn't say is instead of you guys.
Yeah.
You guys go fill papers. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, sometimes.
I'll enjoy working with you guys too, don't get me wrong, but it's easy because they're laser focused on what their job is, right? They don't have to, they're not too busy for it, because that's all they're there to do, and that's why this makes it so nice.
All right.
All right, so I just wanted to re-talk about this one more time, really ingrain it in you guys. You guys have a whole website to take advantage of. And I know, Mike, you made your own website. I love it. It's a little bit more in depth and in detail than what KW's websites give to you. But you can customize it now, and you can change the colors, you can change the font. That's cool. But you can add testimonials. you can add your little flavor. Get out of the way, your little flavor to it. You can put your listings in there. You can put which, I'm helping an agent later today, change it. Right now, it just has Texas listings. I'm gonna help her make it local listings. And if you want to market yourself to $1 million listings instead of $250,000 listings, you can put that on your website as well. So that's the first thing people see. So mess around with it. Don't save anything until you know it's perfect, because it's a pain in the butt to unpublish it. But if you have questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you. Yay. So I wanna start putting this in the slides. We have KWRS Hub. So if you haven't gone there in a while, that's where you're gonna find our W-9s, our referrals, our broker forum, all the information on the broker, information on Chris. The broker resource page, the broker drive, what else?
I just updated it. So you're gonna have the zip drive for all our logos, if you guys need them. You are gonna have our Instagram or all our social medias on there. Information for leadership is on there. The broker drive, like she said, huge for you guys. Under Murray's name, Chris's information, if it's not right up in center, it's the second or third one. It's in there as well. So it's so much stuff in there that's good for you. Our training calendar's not in there yet, but it will be. Team ups in there, whole bunch of things. So go mess around with it. And if there's something you want added, let me know. If there's something spelled wrong, I can be illiterate sometimes. Let me know and I'll fix it.
So the information that Maria does is in there?
Yep, yep. And all our Canva, our Flock shop, that's in there with the password KWCL 2025 exclamation point.
And
all that's
it
in there.
shares that in there too.
Yep.
So. Yeah, so it's a great place to go for resources and that. And again, like if there's something that you're finding that you need like consistently, just tell Brad and he'll add it there. Bold, so we got 5 signups last week. Congratulations. I'll be cutting the checks for those agents that won by popping balloons. I have 3 more balloons, so the next 3 people that register get to pop a balloon.
Gotta jump up there though. No, okay.
Yeah, right. You have to figure out which one has the money in it. No, they're actually in my office. There's no jumping. Except jumping for joy for all the commissions you're gonna earn by taking bold. So I'm very, very excited about this. I know, so Loretta and Sylvia and Wayne and Janice and Meg all registered. And I have a few others that are thinking about it. But the next 3 people that fill out one of these forms gets to pop a balloon. So if you guys want to pop a balloon, come see me.
Oh yeah.
If you want to make a lot of money, come see me. If you want to learn how to maybe systematize your business and earn more business rather than chasing your tail around. So as you're resetting for the balance of the year, consider if bold might be one of the keys that's going to help you grow your business. And probably next week or the week after, I'll have a couple agents come up and talk about their experience in taking bold, because hearing it from me, I sound like a commercial. But other agents that did. I've taken the old bold 19 times. This is gonna be my first time taking this bold. And yet every single time I took it, something good changed in my business. I either got more production, earned my business, got more leverage. I'm scripting and role playing in the morning. That's where I learned everything that I learned about the role playing and everything that flows off my tongue now. So.
And one other thing, this isn't just for KW agents. This can be for any agent that you work with who you think might like it. And then you can build your downline, give us their information. We'll get them involved here. And then they'll come join KW in a perfect world, go in your downline, and you'll get some passive income out of
Good
it.
idea.
Win-win-win, grow the business too.
I forget, I've got somebody that's kind of interested in getting into real estate, so what's the first thing you're supposed to?
When I meet with you later, I'll get their information. Yeah, I'll give them a call.
And somebody that's just looking to get into real estate that doesn't have their license yet wouldn't make sense. Yeah, but servers make great realtors.
Oh, yeah.
I was a server. So this is Murray. This is the QR code directly to Murray's resource page that has a bunch of different folders in it. You guys, whenever you have questions or thoughts or anything about what you should or shouldn't do, go here first, because this is a massively phenomenal resource page. He spent lots of time putting this together. So, okay. Are you guys here because you got my invitation about avoiding pitfalls in real estate?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're here to make sure that you guys don't go to real estate jail. Okay. So, several things have come up over the past few weeks, and the first thing I want to talk about is it cell protection.
Can I get it real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Rebecca and I are gonna be talking about this, and I have a request for you guys. Alright, so I like to do marketing. I feel like we wanna build our brand, and we need your help, Rebecca and I. And if Brad helps us too, this morning, we need your help. So my request today is while we're presenting, if at some point during our presentation, you could take out your phone and then go into photo mode and just hold that thing down on us for 3 seconds while we're presenting. We're not gonna be posing, we're gonna be talking in the thing, just pick up your phone, give me a 3-second video, and then text it to me so that I can make a reel on Instagram out of it. And
Yeah.
I'm looking for a video, not a picture. Why? Because, well, you'll see in the video, yeah, not picture. So that's just my request. If you could help us out at some point when we're going over these different things, just pop out your phone, take a 3-second video, put that thing away, and then shoot a text to myself or Rebecca with that video, so that I can take that up, chop it up, and make some content for the office.
You guys one out to each person. Okay, so about a week or so ago, I got a call from an agent. They'd already spoke to Murray. And they were getting ready for closing and everything was going to the closing table. They had a piece of land listed, right? So vacant land that they had listed. They had been the sellers reached out to them and everything was, you know, checking all the boxes and they were moving through, everything was going great. They never met them face to face. It was all conversations and that. So everything goes to title, they're getting prepared for closing and the seller or the sellers refuse to complete the IntelliCheck portion of the identity verification process. They provided 2 completely different photo IDs. So they were fraudulent sellers. It went all the way from listing to contract to acceptance negotiations to acceptance to the closing table. And these were not even the accurate sellers. So what I wanted to do was make sure that if you guys, because there are a lot of absentee owners in Florida, they live elsewhere and that's a true thing. Yet, how do we know that who we're communicating with is the true seller? And this doesn't just have to be for vacant land. This could be for properties, right? They're gonna be a little bit different because how do you get in? You're gonna first key that they're probably not the seller is they don't have access to the home. So going through this checklist is going to help you when you're dealing with somebody, you wanna verify. And if you feel that it's fraudulent, the first thing is pull public records, which they did. And the people obviously did because they knew what they were supposed to be acting as. Verify their identity, ask them for IDs. These people actually had IDs. It's just that the title company had seen so many fraudulent ones, they were aware that this was not, these weren't true IDs. We don't work at the DMV, so we don't know for sure what, you know, I don't know what an Alabama ID looks like, for instance. Confirm their contact details, ask validation questions, require notarized documentation. And I really like that one. What I was thinking is have the listing notified. Like if you're sending something over, have them go somewhere and get it notarized. That's gonna tell you if they're willing to do that little bit of extra legwork. Title company review, have the title company review everything and just watch for red flags. And talking to this agent, they're very seasoned agents too. This was not a brand new agent. And in talking to them, they said now that we were notified by the title company that these are fraudulent sellers, now we're looking back and saying, oh, there were some red flags that I didn't think of, you know, didn't think they were red flags because you trust that a seller is a seller, right? So watch for those red flags and then report suspicious activity, easy for me to say. And just notify Murray, notify the title company, go through this checklist and have this handy when you're working with a seller that you have never met face to face and you possibly will not meet. Because there are true sellers out there that aren't trying to be fraudulent. They actually want to sell their property and they're not going to come down here to do that. So just go through and do your due diligence. Any questions, any thoughts? Moving on. So we're gonna talk about standard versus as is. We've had a lot of conversation about this recently, and if you could pass this next one out to everybody, this is
Double sided.
2 pages, double sided, so they each get 2 pages. So this is the key difference between the standard and as is, and the reason I wanted to bring this to you today is because there still seems to be a little bit of confusion on what is the best contract to use. And you have, one of the biggest things is the inspection and repair obligation, so with the standard contract. You have to notify, the buyer has to notify, let's say, I'm just gonna say that we're using a 15-day inspection period. With a standard contract, the buyer has to notify by the deadline on the 15th of any repairs that they want to have done or what they want to have done in lieu of, not in lieu, based upon the inspection, right? So they just have a notification. In the as is, they have to have everything completely accepted and signed off by the deadline period. So on the 15th day by 11:59 PM. And on the as is, a buyer can just say, yeah, I don't want it, I'm out. And they can walk away with no questions asked. So they can just walk away for that time. Standard, you have to have a purpose for getting out of the contract.
And most people use an as is.
Sellers
Yeah.
typically use an as is. And so one of the biggest things and the reason why sellers do is on paragraph of the standard contract on paragraph 9A. What the reason the sellers do not love the standard contract is because they're required to make repairs. So they're required to make repairs with wood destroying organism, like whatever comes out of that, with anything that is like general repairs. If you leave this blank as a buyer's agent, when you're representing a buyer, then it's 1.5% of the purchase price that they're required. That's their limit that they have to, they might be obligated, to make repairs up to, which if you're looking at a $600,000 house times 1.5% is 9,000. That's a lot of money, right? But you can put in different amounts in there as buyer's agents, so they're not obligated as much. I feel, and this is just me personally, so just understand this is 100% of opinion. Razum, Frack, Murray, nobody else told me to say this and that they may not even support it. I feel the standard represents, protects the buyers better, and the as is protects the sellers better. Most sellers want to see an as is contract, and that's the reason. Because sellers in the as is contract do not have to make repairs. They do not have to do anything. They can, they absolutely can, and if they're wise, they would, as long as it's not, exorbitant amount. Yet just understanding the difference between the two. So I gave you guys a cheat sheet. This is Murray approved, by the way. I gave him this outline and he said it was a great outlines to kind of give you guys some insights and some different ways of looking at it, because it gets a little complicated. Yeah.
So if you're representing a buyer, when would you want to use one or the other? Is there
Depends.
depends on the type of property?
Well, check
Depends on
the
the
MLS
finance, are they
or-
cash?
Well, what about if you look at the house, the seller's listing,
Yeah.
he'll say as is only,
They may.
or I'm only using
Yeah.
standard,
Yeah.
so that's. what
It could be one way.
Right?
Or
Yeah.
what if you were like trying to find something that, and you had a buyer that didn't have the money for repairs?
Then you probably want to use the standard,
Yeah.
and it's just up to the seller if they're willing to. And then, so when you think about it, unless you put different amounts in those different categories on paragraph 9, because you can put in how much, 1.5% if left blank for general repairs, 1.5% if left blank for wood destroying organism treatment, 1.5% for costs associated with closing out or opening expired permits. Those are the 3 major things. So unless you put something different in there, yet then you need to think about, okay, if I'm asking them to potentially contribute this amount, am I still asking for closing costs? What is my, so we need to figure out, is this the host home for them? And is the seller willing to negotiate all of that?
Well, like if someone, you want to replace the flooring let's say a house that needed flooring replaced, but the buyer wouldn't have the money to cover that.
Now you're talking about cosmetics.
Okay.
Right? So, there's a difference between safety, soundness and security and, you know, that flooring is kind of icky. I'm gonna wanna do something with it.
Right.
That, I think that's just pride of ownership later down the road that save up for the
Okay.
flooring that you really want. I wouldn't put that into negotiation
Gotcha.
personally.
From a financing standpoint, if there is no flooring for an FHA loan, you're not getting the
Right,
house.
right.
Like if it's just concrete,
Yeah.
you're not getting it, but you can go and buy carpet. Lay the carpet in, not put it down,
Right,
literally
right.
lay it. You could pass that waiver with an FHA, so know that, yeah, so.
Just, yeah.
Quick question, is it safe to say that based who you represent, you should be able to narrow down which contract to use?
So this is my recommendation and 100% my recommendation is explain the difference of both contracts to your buyers and let them decide. This contract is between the buyer and the seller. Nowhere in the contract does it say your buyer's agent or anything like that. It's like buyer's obligated, buyer's obligated. So you need to know so you can turn around and consult your client best. The sellers have requested we use the as-is contract. This is what the as-is does. This is the benefits for you. These are the risks for you. This is what it does for the seller. If we were to use the standard contract, this is the benefits for you. This is the risks for you. That's why I wanted an outline for you. So it's easy for you guys to look at, understand, and possibly seek more clarity. And by going to Murray's broker resource page, that's going to help you with more clarity on some of those things. But if you don't know, ask the question. There's zero stupid questions or foolish questions when you're helping somebody transact one of the biggest purchases or sales of their life. Yeah, Andy.
Sold my son's house in Orlando just recently and I used Natalie Cold Iron, you know, the real estate lawyer. And this lady used this ancient standard contract. And so she was like, man, we worked on that forever. And then she's like, do you realize that it's not just the 9,000, maybe it's that times 3,
Right.
27,000.
Right, because
So I was
1.5 per
Well, that's
for each
what
one.
She gave and she won't budge, so I mean, so we
Yeah.
tried to get her to change, she changed one section on it. And we just hoped for the best because we thought the house was in great shape.
So remember that it's 1.5% of the purchase price for the general repairs, and it itemizes that in the contract, what that all covers. It's 1.5% of the purchase price unless you put something else in there for wood destroying organism treatments and whatnot. And then it's 1.5% of the purchase price also for permits and solidifying the permits and closing those out. So you're right, it could be times 3.
And if
So-
you're wondering what falls under general repairs, at the bottom of that page, it's all listed.
Oh, yeah, it goes through an extensive list. So the last thing I want to share with you guys real quick, and then I'm gonna pass it over to Chris, is extension. So sometimes we have to extend our contracts, whether it's for repairs, whether it's for financing, whether it's for whatever the case may be. Maybe we're fighting an appraisal. It doesn't matter what it is. When you are extending your contract date, if there is a reason for extending it, other than the buyer and the seller have decided, buyer or seller decided, I need a few more days to move, or the closing on the other side got moved or something like that. If it's because of financing, if it's because of repairs or inspection, make sure that everything in that modification to the agreement, to the contract, itemizes everything you're extending, not just the closing date. And we had an instance where there was an extension for a closing recently, and it was due to financing, even though the lender, it wasn't Chris, kept saying everything's fine, we're fine. We just need a little more time to get to the closing table. And so they extended the closing, didn't extend the financing, and come to find out this buyer could not close based on something that came up on their credit. Potentially could have closed down the road once they remedied it, but because the financing wasn't there, they couldn't move forward to the closing date, and they ended up losing their escrow deposit. And so it's our role as their real estate agents to make sure that we're making that the contracts and the extension cover everything on that. And just want to make sure that you guys are all in the know, so it doesn't happen to your clients, or it doesn't happen again. Any questions on that? Okay, Well, he's gonna bring some positivity to the team because you guys know like, oh my gosh, all this stuff I have to be aware of.
Yeah, keep it light. Yeah. So I've got some talking points for standard versus as is too, and I want to address appraisal and repairs and what that looks like. And everything I'm going to talk about right now is, mind you, I'm a mortgage loan officer, so I'm buyer only, right? Everything that comes out of my mouth has to do with buyers. I will talk about sellers in different instances, but everything that relates to what I'm about to say is for buyers only, right? So when it comes to appraisals and repairs, the standard contract is best for a buyer. Why? Because then the seller has to fix everything, right? If there's any health and safety, it gets flagged and the seller is responsible to have to fix those items. In an as-is contract, if something comes back negatively, the buyer fixes it. If the seller feels so inclined because they want to keep a transaction together, they can, but they're not obligated to. So it's important that you know that going into your transactions. And so let's talk about repairs. Let's talk about repairs. As a lender, I never want to see on a contract you write something is broken in a house. I never want to see in section 20 or an addendum that says, hey, the water pipes broke, we need a credit for X, or there's something wrong with the roof, I need a credit for X, right? Why don't I want to see that? Because when I submit that, well, first of all, I'm not going to submit it. I'm going to go back to you and say fix it. But if that gets submitted, if I'm not the lender and that gets submitted, now the underwriter is going to say, well, hey, I want further review of X problem, right? Now you guys could be in negotiation between buyer and seller, okay? And when you're in negotiation and a buyer and seller, all it really matters is a dollar amount, right? If the repair cost is $5,000, seller and buyer agree to pay. Or seller agrees to pay a buyer $5,000 at closing costs. You don't need to put Y, right? You don't need to put because of X. That creates red flags. Okay. When do you put the problem on the contract? Good question, right? There is a time when you do that. There's something called escrow holdback. What is escrow holdback? Escrow holdback is when money is held in an escrow post-closing to fix a specific item. The buyer or the seller can do this, right? So how does this look? $5,000 repair, let's say we need some new windows. And the seller is like, all right, I'm gonna do this, but we're not gonna do it in a credit. I'm gonna pay for it, I'm the seller, I'll pay for it, I know it's $5,000, I have a bid from my guy saying it's $5,000, I'll pay for it. In that instance, you would put in an addendum, and guys, I'll coach you through this when we get to that point, but you would put in an addendum, seller agrees to hold $5,000 in escrow post-closing to fix X item, right? In that instance, you'll be bringing me two bids, right? A bid for the work and a bid just to show that we're good on price. Now, I said that the buyer or the seller can do this. If the buyer wants the house bad enough, I did this personally. If the buyer wants the house bad enough, they can put their own money in escrow to get the loan to closing so it can be fixed afterwards. What are some things that can't be fixed? Health and safety. If there's a hole in the roof, that's not an escrow repair holdback, that's a renovation loan, different topic. Wouldn't be able to do something like that. But if it's something not health and safety that's kind of minor, that you guys agree upon, that you want to put it that way, it can be done. Now, this also isn't an interested party contribution, meaning they still can get seller credits in addition to the escrow holdback. So that's good information to know.
Can I ask you a question?
Mhm.
And I'm asking this based on Illinois real estate, what we did. When there was an escrow holdback, they had to give 1.5 times.
It is more, yeah, it's like 150% of the bid, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why they do more than what the bid is just for unforeseen circumstance. If there's anything that's left over, if it's cheaper than what the bid is, it goes back to whoever funded it. Right, it just gets cut a check back until after it's done. It will be verified that the work is completed. You have usually 30 days after closing to get something like that done. So just so you're aware on that. So we're talking about loan combat.
Is that similar to if somebody gonna rent the house back? When they put like.
So that's another gray area, right? So when you're buying a primary residence, you have an intention to occupy within 60 days of closing. Conventional or FHA. Your intent is when I close on this loan, I will be in that within 60 days. If you're doing a rent back, right? If it goes greater than 60 days, that house is no longer a primary residence to the buyer. So that changes the occupancy in the loan, and now that's now an investment property.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What I don't know as a lender, I don't know. So if you write an addendum and there's a lease back and I never get the addendum and it never goes into underwriting and you guys have a 6-month lease back and you never told me about it and I never see it, never happened.
Just don't invite Chris over for dinner.
Yeah, I'm very, when I say I don't see it, I speak in terms to an underwriter or a lender. I want you guys to call me on all these things. I'll walk you through it, right? Like I'm here to make transactions happen, not happen, right? If you call me and if it's not gonna work for me, I'll tell you to change it, right? But call me, consult me, ask me, what do I gotta do here? What's it gonna do to get this across the finish line? We'll make it work. We'll get the verbiage right and we'll take care of it. The biggest thing that kills deals is health and safety and things of that nature, right? When you get an appraisal in and you have an as-is contract and there's problems, who's gonna fix it, right? If there's a deficit in the property, it's gonna fall on the buyer, right? With a standard contract, it gets fixed, it gets repaired. My hope though is that you guys are recommending inspections for all of your clients, hands down, and all that stuff. Everything that could possibly get wrong gets righted before we get to those steps. And you guys, of course, know when you're going into a house, or if you're walking into a junk house or a nice house, let's face it. And that can also help with what kind of contract you're gonna be using. If this is brand new construction, is it as is really that gonna be that detrimental to the, maybe not, still get an inspection because they jack everything up, right? So that's really it, right? It really comes down to affordability and repairs when you're out there doing things. It's just making sure you're calling your lenders and making sure that they know what's up and then you're having conversations. Not all lenders are created equal, right? They're not, some of them require inspection reports. I don't require inspection reports. Some require inspection report. I can kill a deal, right? You get an inspection report, it's bad, I can kill a deal. So just making sure that you're having the conversations with your clients. If they want to buy houses that are all jacked up, we have loans for that. It's just a different way we're gonna look at it. Right? Russ, think we're good?
Questions?
I have a quick question, sorry if I missed this. So with the standard contract, if it's 1.5% of the sales price, the seller's obligated to pay up to that amount. If it's $7,500, what if the repairs are 10 grand? Is that just back with the buyer? They have to pay the difference?
Then it goes back into negotiation if the buyer
Okay.
can cover the difference or anything like that, but they're only required to that amount.
Okay.
Mhm.
I think I should add too, talking about contingencies, right? Financing contingencies.
Yeah.
When you guys are doing loans or doing a contract, right? Your financing contingency should be your closing date, right? Try to do that as often as possible, right? Why? Well, because if something goes wrong, it can kill a deal, right? We were talking yesterday, in the instance that you might have a deal that we need to extend the closing because maybe the seller needs more time, maybe something happened, something fell through and they need an extra week, right? And your loan is clear to close, meaning that we have final approval with the buyer and we're like, okay, great. We're ready for closing, but we'll give you the extra week, no big deal, Mr. Seller, right? If you don't extend that financing contingency and your happy buyer goes and buys a new car after they're cleared for approval, and that car kills the deal, you lost the deal, they lost their escrow, right? And that can happen. Now, we all educate our clients to do the right thing. Don't buy a darn thing, don't open no credit, don't do any large purchases, just go about your life business as usual as you normally would, make your on-time payments, da 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 da. But listen, people get excited. People call me, they're like, can I go buy furniture yet? Can I go buy furniture yet? And I'm like, relax, like go sign the paperwork, go buy the furniture, right? Like don't do it beforehand. Why did you buy a car, Mr. Barr, before? Well, I was excited. Well, now you just lost your house, right? So it's important that you keep those contingency dates fluid throughout through the closing date, so that you don't mess up a deal or lose a transaction. And again, we all do our best to explain, but it takes a farm or a village really to get that stuff across.
Yeah, and it will continue to remind you, and then with that too is, when I do the buyer consultation workshop, I always hand out the 10 commandments for buyers and what not to do. Because the mortgage companies will run an employment verification and a credit check just before closing.
Yep.
So just because you have a clear to close, it means you're clear to close as long as nothing's changed in your world. Yet if we call and find out you quit your job and you bought a car or whatever, chances are you're not going to closing. So we just need to keep reminding them and then sending them back. If you want to change bank accounts, call Chris. If you want to quit your job, wait till the day after closing.
Yeah.
If you want to get that new car, talk to the car salesman and say, hey, I'm closing on a house. Can we secure this price that we negotiated on until the day after I close? So you guys, we're also therapists, financial therapists for them throughout the transaction and make sure nothing changes once they're approved.
Yep.
So who wants to stay in real estate? I'm just kidding. It's exciting, and the buyers they don't know any better, and it's our job to consult them, so it's our job to know these things. So, and it's our job to bring this to you, so you guys know how to turn around and consult with your clients.
Yep.
Anything final?
That's it. Any questions?
Well, go have a great day, enjoy the Ford, we appreciate you.
941.
On the TV.
Bam.
Up there?
That's
How
a
do you
great
say it?
picture.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Try it.
Okay,
I'll tell you, Cavazzos.
Chris K.
Chris K.
So I do that, I do have to tell you guys something funny, there's an agent up in Illinois that, I had been talking to for years and about joining Keller Williams, and we, just got along real great. And one day I had him in my phone as Chris K. And I have the other one in my phone as Chris K. So I called the Chris K up north. I'm like, hey, what time are you gonna be in the office? He's like, well, I'm going to a closing. I guess I'll probably be there about 10. Why? I'm like, oh, and I realized the one up there, his last name is Chris Capats, no.
Oh, wow.
Chris Capats, or something like that. Well, it's all Greek to me, but Chris K is, and yeah, so.
So you should do a commercial with the Santa Claus that Chris K, for Chris Green.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Thanks.
Thank you. People,
I'm
have a
39
great-
again,
great
and now I'm Santa Claus. Great.
I'll video.
Love it.